Yes, we're back. We're back again in X-Plane. We're back again in the 737-700. We're also back again here at East Midlands Airport, where I'm going to go through starting up the 737-700/Zibo, getting you from cold and dark to pushing back and getting ready to taxi and take off. This is no way a tutorial. It's my way of getting the plane started. So there's going to be things I'm going to miss. There's going to be things I'm going to do in the wrong order. But all being well, we'll get to a point where we can push back and taxi and then be able to take off. So grab that guidebook to setting things up wrong in a 737 and let's go. So yes, hi there, Steve here. Welcome back to X-Plane. Yes, so this is not a tutorial. It is not a step-by-step follow through. It's how I get the plane started. Just want to make that clear. But if you want to do it the same way as me, you can follow this and it will get you off the ground. I'm already expecting people in my Discord server to be ranting and raving all through this whole process. So it's a light-hearted way of doing it. It's not a strict tutorial and not a step-by-step process. So we're here. East Midlands. I've got a flight plan set, which I've done in SimBrief, to take me up to Edinburgh today. So that's the plan. So I'll jump inside the plane. I have already configured the tab with a couple of things. I've increased the volume on the PA system. I've increased the volume as I like to do for the engine sound and the low down frequency, because it does sound cool. So I've already done that. Don't forget, if you are using this with rudder pedals as I am, first thing to do is go to the realism setting, and tire blown management I turn off because I don't want a tire blowout. I struggle enough as it is. And then go to hardware and set the nose wheel axis to yaw, otherwise you won't be able to use your rudder pedals to turn. And that's all I've done in there. I have checked to make sure I've got enough fuel. Fuel I'm going to need for this journey is 5.2. We've got 7.9, so don't need to add any fuel. If I did want to add fuel, click on the 7.9 and enter your fuel value in there. And then with this version, the 737-700, you then have to go to ground services and call the fuel truck. And that will then fill your plane up. So first thing we'll do is we'll click start the flight leg, let the passengers on board, as you can hear in the background, and we'll turn that audio down because we're playing some audio for them, and we'll connect the GPU. So that's now outside wearing away. Door is still open. Okay, so now what we'll do, we've got ground power available, as it says there. We'll flick this down to ground power on. Flick the battery cover, power cover down, and emergency lights on. Okay, so that's done. Now, what I do at this point then is go up the top here to align the IRS. So both of those around to nav. So that's right at the top. Difficult one to see. Okay, now we're at the point of starting the APU. So flick the fuel pump down. I go for this one on the left here, and APU down, and hold it down. And we're looking for this EGT to rise. As the APU kicks into life. There we go. So that'll increase, that'll then stabilize. So that's the APU at the back of the plane here, which gives you enough air to then start the engines. Turn those cautions off. the APU power is available, this will then light up here. So again, although I have got a checklist by the side of me here, I'm not following it precisely. Right, APU power is available. Just flick both of those to APU. And over here now, to a position light to steady, we'll put the logo light on as well. Passenger signs on packs on auto/high. Put the APU bleed on. That gives us enough air then to start the planes. While I'm here, click hydraulics on. We've got a master caution there, get rid of that. Looking good. Right. Put the fuel pumps on again. I'm not doing this in any particular order. So I've flicked all the 4 fuel pumps on down there. Your damper on. Now, because we're on APU power, I turn this round to battery and that round to APU. And while we're here, we'll turn the panel lights up as well, just so we can see things. So that's all looking good. Window heat we can put on as well. And probe heat. So we are looking good. Now again, not doing things by the correct order. I do them as I spot them. So I look around the panel and see what I need to do next. So next for me, that I can see visually over here anyway, is setting my altitude for the cabin pressure. So that at 28,000, and we're landing at Edinburgh, which is 133 feet. So we'll set that at 150. So that's all done up there. We'll come down here and put our TCAS on all the way around. Looking good. I'll turn these panel lights up as well. You can hear a plane outside. I've got traffic global turned on. So there'll be planes outside taxiing and going places. So there's a plane there about to take off, because traffic global does bring a certain amount of realism. Right, so now, so the plane's up and ready to go with the overhead panel anyway. So now here I need to set my altitude, which is 28,000 feet. Again, not doing these in any particular order. I've got the checklist there as a guide. I'm expecting a lot of comments for this, saying that I'm doing things all wrong. Heading is going to be runway heading. Which is 89. Put those there for now. Brakes into RTO. Okay. So now down here, the bit that's been the bane of my life, and I don't like it when it does that, has stopped me flying this plane basically for quite a while, is the being scared of the FMC. So click on FMC. Clear the message at the bottom by pressing the clear button down here, and now go to the POS init page. You'll see these row of boxes here. The IRS needs to know where we are. Thankfully we can get that information by clicking next page. So GPS left, so press the little button by the side to copy it, so it goes down your scratch pad down the bottom here. Go previous page, and then press the little button to the right of those sets of boxes to insert that information. Done. Now in here now, reference airport is where we are starting. So type in EGNX and pop it in there. And we don't need to, but we are at gate 14. So pop that in there. And now click route. So the from and to. So EGNX, because we typed it, is already there. And our destination is EGPH. Now I've got a route. I've done a route in SimBrief. I've downloaded that and I've put it into the FMS output folder of X-Plane, so I can now load that route in by typing in here EGNX 01, which is what the route is, and click on co-route, activate, execute. Done. Now the next one, so perf init comes up here. You could also put a flight number in there if you wanted to. So gross weight, again, that comes from your SimBrief plan, and we have got a gross weight of 51.5. No, we haven't. 56.5. That goes in there. So the planned fuel is 5.2. That goes in there. And the reserves we've got is 3.7. That's quite high. With a cost index for this flight of 13. So 13. All the information is on the SimBrief plan, and flight level 280. I may do another video of understanding the SimBrief plan. That's something that anybody would be interested in. Click execute. Now we've got ACT, so that's active now. Solid air temperature. No, wrong place. No. See, I am doing this on the fly. That one. There we go. And cruise / wind. 145/038. So again, all this information. This is by no means an FMC tutorial. Okay, so that's all done. So now click N1 limit. Now select outside air temperature. That is up here. So 3 degrees. So /3 in there. And now click takeoff 1, which is there. And then go to takeoff. So flaps is again on the plan. So 5 for flaps, which now I will actually go across here and set. And now the V1, VR and V2 speeds, click little buttons by the side, and that gives us those speeds. So again, now what I need to do is go up here and put that 138 in there. So that's done. Now center of gravity, push a little button there. It does say verify takeoff speeds. So that's that set up. Now go to departure. So again, this information then, our departure route is set in the flight plan. if I bring that in actually. There we go. So runway we're taking off from, that's our departure, that's the route, that's our arrival, and then that's where we arrive from. So we got the SID there, so departure will be via TNT 3P, and arrival will be via Tweed 3A, landing at runway 6 at Edinburgh. So we've only got TNT 2, I think. No, TNT 3, there we go, click next page. So TNT 3, runway 9, and click execute. And now go back to departure and arrival. So departure we've already set. Now we click on EGPH arrival, and we're coming in via Tweed 3A, and we're landing ILS runway 06. Execute. Now if we go to legs, we can then scroll through and make sure that we don't have any discontinuities, which we don't. That's absolutely fine. So that's set up. Very, very simple to do. So we can now put our flight directors on. So flight director on left hand side first, because that's the main one you're going to be using. Flight director on over here, and we can put our auto throttle on as well. Brakes are on RTO, so we are looking good. And there's probably something I've forgotten. Let's put that one on as well. I think we're ready to let our passengers stop boarding now and get ready to push back and start the engines. I'm just trying to think to myself now. I'm reading down the checklist. So I'm actually using a checklist, surprisingly. Flight altitude set, flight directors are on, auto brake set to RTO, doors closed is next, and then that's the point where we'll get to for this video. Okay, so let's go back to our panel then. So let's retract the air stairs. Close the doors.
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. On behalf of all the crew, welcome on board this flight. We expect to be departing on schedule today, and weather en route is looking pretty smooth. Shortly, the cabin crew will be showing you a safety demonstration. This is for your safety and for those around you, so please give them your full attention. Once again, you're very welcome on board.
It's actually the first time for me that I've heard that music playing. Right, position lights on. So,
ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome on board this flight. To ensure our quick and on-time departure, we kindly ask you to move along the cabin aisle as quickly as possible. And once you've found your seat, please step into your seating area to let the other passengers through. You can store your hand luggage either under the seat in front of you or in the overhead compartments provided. Please keep emergency exits clear at all times, and we'd like to remind you smoking or drinking your alcohol is excluded at all times.
now that was really cool. Again, I've not really heard that. The cabin crew are making the announcement telling people to step away from the aisles, and that happened as soon as I put the anti-collision light on. Then the cabin crew came into the cabin to let me know that everyone was strapped in, and she shut the cabin door, and then the audio of the announcer got lower. And don't forget, this is a free plane for X-Plane, the 737-700, based on the Zibo. Free. And it's little tiny things like that that are absolutely awesome. Right, so now I'm going to put the seatbelt signs on. And we are ready to push back. Everything is done. FMC is programmed in my sort of way, but it's programmed. We got a route there which will take us off to Edinburgh, So now I've got a better pushback installed, and I've already pre-planned the push, so we'll start that.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
So a tug will appear, probably out of the building here. There it comes. I haven't set the pressure. Pressure. I'll do that in a second. I'll just watch this. This is just brilliant. Again, better pushback is free. And it's absolutely fantastic.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
So he now backs up under the plane. The wheels go into like a little jack. These comes around and clamp the wheel. And he asked me to release the parking brake.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright, parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Right. Okay. So we may start engines. Engine 2 to ground. Wait for it to start spooling up, which it won't do because I've got the packs on. Right, turn the packs off. I'll try that again. Engine 2 to ground. There we go. Let me hear that rumble. So we're waiting for this figure right at the top here to get to about 20. Then we'll introduce fuel. We'll introduce fuel. If I can grab the fuel, there we go. Okay. So engine 2, once start valve open closes, there we go. We can put that onto continuous, and then we'll do the same with engine 1. And again, waiting for this to there.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Right, he wants to set the parking brake, so I'll put that on at the same time.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
So he's put me in the correct place, so my taxi then begins down to there to take off towards Edinburgh. So he's now releasing from the plane. Engines are now up and ready. So I can now switch these two down to switch me onto engine power. Turn the APU off. Switch back round to Gen 1. And once he's moved out the way, I can then put my taxi lights on and we are ready to go.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
There you go. One thing I will do though before I do depart is change the pressure. So 29.71 is the current pressure where I am. So set it there using the dial at the top here, the Barrow one sets it on the right. Also got to set it in the middle for the backup. And then set it over here as well for the co-pilot side. And there we go. We are ready now to put our runway lights on, taxi lights on, anti-collision, and position lights can now go strobe and steady. We'll put wing well lights on as well. So plane is ready to taxi. So there we are. At this point then I would be taking off, or taxiing out to take off towards Edinburgh. But we'll leave that there. It said no way was that intended to be a tutorial on how to set a plane up properly. There are things that I've done incorrectly, I'm sure, but hopefully that's enough of a guide to get you to a point where you can at least taxi and then take off and hopefully follow your flight plan and get to your destination. Plenty more flight to come from me on the channel. If you'd rather me go through the FMC tutorial in a more step-by-step process, I'm happy to do that. If you want to go through, I want to do a video going through the setting up of a SimBrief plan and then how to understand the information you're getting from SimBrief. Again, that's something I'm more than happy to do because it can look a bit daunting. And may even do some of this sort of stuff for some other planes as well. Even some of the GA stuff is quite difficult to set up and start. So give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'm sure there'll be some comments on saying that I've done things incorrectly. Again, it's the way that I do them, sort of following the checklist, maybe not in the correct checklist order, but it's enough to get the plane up and running and ready to go. Yeah, hopefully not too deceiving for you. But yeah, plenty more flight to come for me. Don't forget to check out the Discord server. We do have an awesome Discord community where we do some group flights together a few times a week and a lot of chatter over there on Discord. So check that out, link in the description below. I'll put a link to this plane as well. So based on the Zibo, this is the 737-700U. Again, completely free. I'll put a link to that below as well. So yeah, check it out. I'll leave that there then. Until the next time, if you have been. Thanks very, very much for watching.